Imagine endless reality TV storylines with new cast trajectories, unbelievable drama, and enhanced challenges, all courtesy of AI. Due to the broad rights granted to studios by show participants to their name, image, likeness, along with personal access and editing rights, this could be a real possibility. So, what are the legal, ethical, and reputational risks of using artificial intelligence in reality television? And what balance can be achieved between the goals, the studios, and the rights of the talent? For reality TV, much like its scripted counterpart, established IP is king. Long-running shows with big personalities mean huge archives of footage. So, could an AI repurpose an entire library of footage from a show with a beloved cast into endless seasons? AI's ability to learn from existing material and create digital replicas mean it could remix some of reality TV's most iconic moments. When the real world began in 1992, there was no such thing as a reality star. But today, they are celebrities in their own right. Therefore, it is critical to have unfettered access to the talent and a lock on all the rights and releases. The rights granted by the participant to the studios and production companies are quite broad and include the right to the talent's name, image, and voice in perpetuity, a waiver of all claims, including their right to privacy, unlimited editing rights to rearrange, adapt, reformat, reprocess, dub, revise, or modify in any manner. Participants agree they may be misrepresented. A future tech clause protects for potentially unknown uses, and creative liberties are allowed to fictionalize or dramatize. Some contracts even include clauses allowing an actor to portray the participant. AI can influence every step of the reality TV process. AI can enhance the process by increasing efficiency, with streamlining filming and voiceover sessions, and automating much of the editing process by tagging clips, identifying and compiling sound bites, transcribing hours of raw footage, and color grading faster than a human. Producers can use AI in planning stages to ideate storylines, analyze the competition, predict gameplay, and even suggest cast combinations. AI is going to test the limits of the talent contracts. California courts in particular are already skeptical about waiving away liability for certain harms. Deep fakes of a cast member may trigger claims of invasion of privacy and violation of the right of publicity. The right of publicity protects a celebrity from having their name, image, or likeness used for the purposes of advertising or selling without their permission. The right of publicity covers more than just the physicality or name of a celebrity. Violations can stem from the use of a celebrity's catchphrase.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, here's Johnny.
Or mimicking their voice with a sound alike to give the impression a celebrity like Bette Midler is singing in a Ford commercial.
Do you wanna dance and hold my hand?
Or even using a non-human look-alike, similar to how Samsung created a robot Vanna White to advertise its electronics. One recent sound-alike raising questions involves OpenAI's chatbot Sky that sounded uncannily like actress Scarlett Johansson, who voiced an AI character in the movie Her.
Hello, I'm here.
Oh.
She publicly denounced the use and OpenAI removed the voice. No case has been filed, but a congressional subcommittee did invite Johansson to testify. What about using AI to rearrange or create new content from completed episodes or old footage of participants? In de Havilland versus FX Networks, actress Olivia de Havilland sued over the depiction of her in the miniseries Feud. The court stated whether a person portrayed in one of these expressive works is a world-renowned movie star or a living legend or a person no one knows, she or he does not own history or have the legal right to control, dictate, approve, disapprove, or veto the creator's portrayal of actual people. Reality talent agreements may very well then allow for the use of AI with previous footage or information involving the talent under the editing or modifying provisions. Right of publicity is geared towards celebrities, but the metrics for celebrity are changing as the line between being a private and public figure blur. A Florida court found there to be a split between the public and public and private persona in a case involving the famous wrestler and reality TV star Hulk Hogan, who sued Gawker under his birth name Terry Bollea for the unauthorized release of a sex tape. The court found that Terry retained his right to privacy because it was his public persona of Hulk Hogan who was the overtly sexual one, not the plaintiff in his private capacity. It is unclear whether this argument for someone of Hogan's notoriety can successfully be argued outside of Florida, but if that duality is recognized, then using AI on a cast member within a reality show could cut in favor of the studio, as the cast member's TV personality could be deemed a character. In response to lawsuits from family members of deceased celebrities like George Carlin, who appeared in an unauthorized AI-created comedy special, many state legislatures have extended a post-mortem right of publicity. As you can see, AI is forcing previous parameters and protections in the business to adapt. And the defamation waiver in talent contracts will be another area of the law tested by AI usage. Some courts uphold the waiver in reality TV contracts and don't consider the merits of the case, while other courts disregard the waiver and focus on the truth or falsity of the comments themselves. Historically, studios have relied on a future technology clause to protect for uses unknown at the time of contracting. The clause is broad and typically stipulates some example of additional platform usage, like online, streaming, or interactive. But it's also left open-ended with clauses like in all media worldwide now known or known hereafter in perpetuity in this universe and all universes unknown. Video cassettes, DVDs, DVRs, and streaming all incited litigation when they debuted. Courts have generally held that if a party has agreed to a broad future tech clause, extending the media developed thereafter, the other party can hardly avoid the contract's application by establishing that the precise nature of the advance was unforeseen. But some Ninth Circuit courts have held the phrase, by any means or method now known or hereafter developed, may not be sufficient to ensure that all newly developed technologies are covered. And other courts look to the intent of the parties. Some legal scholars make a distinction between a technological breakthrough and a new means of distribution. In a step to protect non-union performers, California passed Assembly Bill 2602, which requires informed consent and legal or union representation in regards to the creation of a digital replica. It also requires clear and reasonably specific descriptions of the intended use at the time of contracting. The law is effective only as it relates to performances after January 1, 2025. So one could argue that use of AI on reality TV moments prior to that date is allowed. Beyond the legal risks, ethical challenges abound. And the question becomes not what can be done, but what should be done. The creation and distribution of deep fakes bypass the fundamental principle of respect for another's autonomy when they are created without consent. The danger is evident when you realize 90 to 95% of deep fakes are non-consensual porn videos. Informed consent will give all parties peace of mind. The talent will have a choice and say in their person and destiny, and the studios can be creative without fear of litigation. Dissemination of misinformation is also a risk when creating content with AI, especially in the area of reality and documentary TV. When AI is prompted to go beyond its training data, it is more likely to make up an answer than admit it does not have one. Producers need to be especially careful using AI with respect to historical accuracy, so as not to add where things didn't exist or remove where it did. Studios need to consider the consequences of using AI to replace jobs in front of and behind the camera. Negative audience reactions to reports of using AI to replace talent or to minimize the cultural impact of human artists will undermine any cost reductions or efficiency gains. We know that the public is wary about the use of AI, and we also know that they have conflicting opinions about reality TV in general. So planning ahead will allow a studio to manage the reputational risks as opposed to managing a crisis. This graph shows how the audience feels about various aspects of AI usage in movies or TV. 53% of the audience is not comfortable with generative AI being used to digitally replicate a living or deceased actor, and 35% are not comfortable with AI voicing narration for a documentary character. The audience will not view AI the same way they do villain edits. These are typically called out by cast members when they don't like how they appear in the show, but those moments exist within the footage, and the audience has insight into the cast members' intentions. So they tend to forgive that massaging of reality. But they may see the use of AI as exploitative, and negative reactions by cast members would have a detrimental impact. So cast buy-in is imperative to make the audience feel safe and excited to watch any material with AI elements. AI usage should be given forward-facing support by the cast in the press and on social media. Where do we go from here? The global market for AI-generated content is expected to double by 2029, but it is possible to give the audience some of what it wants using AI. A Deloitte digital media trend report states that for many, being a fan is core to their identity. 63% of respondents are proud to be considered fans, and 90% of those share passions and fandoms with other people in their lives. Fandoms have widespread consumption patterns, cross-platform engagement, and content diversification. Using AI with legacy programs can extend a series for those dedicated fans, launch new shows, and attract new and curious viewers. To pull this off, showing respect to the audience by being transparent and preserving their agency in viewing decisions is key. There should also be consideration of how the use is presented. Do this by contextualizing the choice for the creators, the cast, and the audience, by calling for audience input, creating interactive excitement, and eliminating any perception of duping or embarrassing the participants. Use of AI tools should enhance the premise of reality and spontaneity, which is part of the unscripted programming hook. And that leads us to the inevitable existential question. Is it really reality if AI is involved? Maybe the label reality TV will be a stretch, but the genre has already subdivided multiple times, so there is room for it to continue branching off into adjacent spin-offs or an entirely new creative place. Perhaps this is an opportunity for a whole new genre. The studios can facilitate viability tests for efficiency, quality control, audience reaction, and industry sentiment by selectively rolling out AI use with limited series, special episodes, digital content, viral and meme content, and events. The choices of today will shape the future of reality television. As an industry, this is our table flip moment. AI can change the way reality TV is created, consumed, and monetized, but it can also return it to its roots. This AI revolution can make the audience hungry for more authentic reality TV, bringing about a resurgence of the genre that embraces true documentary styles, with more fly-on-the-wall, nuanced, and less manufactured material. Imagine a world where AI-generated entertainment exists parallel to raw, unfiltered reality programming. By taking proactive steps, we can embrace the opportunity to harness AI's potential while protecting talent rights, audience trust, and the value of human creativity and effort. Let's make sure we do just that. Thank you.